Hi guys, my name is David. If you are new to my channel, hi, welcome. And if you have been watching my videos for a while now, welcome back. So today I am going to be reviewing Good Omens, the nice and accurate prophecies of Agnes Nutter, Witch by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I read this last year on my Kindle, and I listened to it on audio. I will put a link down in the description to the audio version that I listened to in case you're curious and want to listen to the same version that I did. I listened to this book for a readathon that I am taking part in and also co-hosting as well, which is called a Bookworm's New Year Readathon. If you have followed my channel for a while now, you know that I am taking part in this readathon and that I'm also co-hosting it as well. And the prompt that this book fulfills is to reread a favourite book from 2011. I started reading on a regular basis since 2017, so I wasn't reading in 2011. And I was wondering what book to pick up for this prompt. There were several possibilities I could have actually chosen, but I chose to reread this one. And just so you're aware, this is what the bingo card currently looks like right now. I've completed all of the prompts and I have got a blackout. This was incredibly fun for me to do, and I'm so happy that I took part in this readathon, as I nearly wasn't going to, and I'm so happy that I have completed all of these prompts. So this book was originally published on the 10th of May 1990, and there is a mini-series based on this book as well, by the same name, starring Michael Sheen and David Tennant as the leading roles. I have this on Blu-ray and I absolutely love it. And in case you didn't know, as I said, this book is actually written by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. And before going into this book, I had actually watched the mini-series, so I knew a bit about the story. And then I read the book, but prior to reading the book, the only things I read by them two authors was Hogfather by Terry Pratchett. That's the only thing that I read by the guy. And after I read Good Omens, I read The Colour of Magic, which is the first book in his Discworld series. And at the time, I didn't actually read anything by Neil Gaiman, but I have actually read Stardust by him. And in case you're wondering what genre this novel falls under, it falls under fantasy, but it does have some comedic twists throughout the story as well. There is also a lot of stuff that this book covers, so I won't be able to mention everything that happens in this book, but I will do my best. So before I tell you guys what the story is all about, I just want to say my usual things here. This is going to be a spoiler-free video, and this is going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding this book. So the story opens up by introducing us to our two main characters. One that's called Aziraphale, which is an angel, and Crowley, who is a demon. I mean, at the start of the book, he is called Crawley because he appears to us as a snake, but as the story progresses, he changes it to Crowley, but it's pretty much the same guy. And they are standing in the Garden of Eden, and it's been implied that they have been on Earth since it was created by God. And they actually immediately become friends, even though they know that they are an angel and a demon. They know that they are supposed to be enemies, but they quickly become friends. And even though Aziraphale is good and Crowley is evil, they aren't really necessarily good or necessarily evil, if that makes sense at all. But they try to, Aziraphale tries to do the good things and Crowley always seems to do the bad things. So, as the story progresses, it happens many years later after the Garden of Eden. and Hell has given Crowley the task of taking a small baby, which happens to be the Antichrist, or the son of Satan, or whatever you want to call him, to a nun building, like a little church thing, run by these satanic nuns. And they do this because there is a couple from America, I believe that they may be a senator or a president or whatever, and they want to swap the baby around. So they take the woman's original baby and they give them the Antichrist and try to pass it off as their son. Although that's the plan, but things don't really go according to plan. But at the hospital, or this church, another couple has come on the same night. And this couple is called Mr. and Mrs. Young, and they are also expecting a child. They're about, Mrs. Young is about to give birth. And when Crowley takes the Antichrist to this church, to these nuns, I'm not sure how, but they get confused and they kind of like give the Americans a ordinary baby, and the Antichrist accidentally goes to Mr. and Mrs. Young, who don't really know anything about it. They just presume that this baby is their son and they bring it up as their own. And they also name this baby Adam. And this book focuses a big portion of Adam's life, as we see him many years later, but I'll get to that in a minute. So, Aziraphale and Crowley, they have been on Earth for such a long time, since day one, and they know that the Antichrist has, that the Hell wants to put the Antichrist on Earth, which will result ultimately in the Antichrist destroying the Earth, ruling the Earth and destroying it. And they don't want anything to do with this. They say, well, we're actually used to Earth. They like humans. They like our way of life, and they don't want to see that put in jeopardy, or changed in any way. Because they, at this point, they think that the American couple have got the real Antichrist, and when they go there and they want to try to observe this child, who is called Warlock, they soon discover that Warlock isn't the Antichrist, and that something has gone terribly wrong. That there's been a switch up, and they do some investigation, and they find out that there was a switch up in the babies, and the real Antichrist was brought up by Mr. and Mrs. Young in the countryside. So Adam seems to be a very intelligent, although strange young boy. He has a group of friends that he always hangs around with throughout this whole book. He's never away from them. And he also has a small dog which has been appointed to him by Hell. This dog is a hellhound, and the whole point of this dog is that when this dog is been set from Hell to find his master, the Antichrist, and as soon as Adam names the dog, or gives the dog his name, that is supposed to cement his power and his destiny. And he she gives the dog. He actually calls this dog Dog. That's the dog's name, is Dog. It's nothing. Well, it's nothing that you're going to likely to forget. Adam is very strange and unusual. He is very curious about certain civilizations and ways of life, and his friends are very unusual as well. We do find out that there is in the past there was a witch called Agnes Nutter, whose name is on the title. Agnes was a witch, or supposed witch, and she wrote a manuscript that was transformed into a book, And this book contains prophecies that are going to happen in the future. She can foresee the future, and she writes all these down, and they're sometimes cryptic, but she can see the future, and she writes all these predictions down in the book. This book is given to her family. It's been passed down from generation to generation, and it ultimately goes to a woman called Anathema Device. Apologies if I've pronounced that wrong. I probably have. But Anathema has gone to the town where Adam is residing, and she doesn't know that Adam's the Antichrist. She just happens to be there, and she's got the book, and she's trying to decipher about what's actually happening. She knows the end of the world is going to happen soon, but she doesn't know exactly how or why or who's going to cause the end of the world. We find out that there is a young man called Newton Pulsiver, or Newt, as I'm pretty sure is referred to sometimes in this book. Newt is the descendant of a witch hunter that captured Agnes Nutter, who is Anathema's ancestor, and burned her at the stake. So Newt knows this, as he says that his surname isn't really that it isn't really well known, so it's most likely that this man is his ancestor. And he knows, I think that he knows that Anathema is a witch, but he's not really that bothered. I think that he has a kind of a crush on her as well. We find out that Newt has been sent to this small village in this countryside by this man called Witchfinder Sergeant Shadwell. Shadwell is a very eccentric man. In the audio version I listened to, he was portrayed as with a Scottish accent, a very heavy Scottish accent, and he's very eccentric. He's one of these people that has all these conspiracies going on in his mind, thinking, "Oh, there's evil and sin everywhere," and he's like, he says she sends Newt to this village to observe, and he's a very quirky and unusual character. So yeah, this whole book is about Aziraphale and Crowley observing Adam from afar. Even though they are the main characters, they aren't in the book much. They are mentioned a lot, but they're kind of on the side, if that makes sense. A big chunk of this book revolves around Adam. And then at the end, heaven and hell confront Adam as he is kind of questioning whether he wants to become the Antichrist and have all this power. We find out that there's these 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, which are on horses. They're on motorcycles, which are death, war, pollution, and famine. And they are very quirky characters. I know that you're probably thinking, if you've read the Discworld novels, I'm pretty sure, well, in my opinion, the death in character in this book isn't the same as the one in Discworld. I think they're kind of different characters, as Dev's personality is completely different to the one that he is in the Discworld, but that's only my opinion. So at the end of the book, as I said, heaven and hell want to make sure that Adam becomes the Antichrist because they want to go to war with each other. And they don't, and Aziraphale and Crowley know this, and they say, "Oh well, we can stop this. There doesn't have to be a war." And they tell them that that's not the point. The point is to actually win the war. So they are constantly trying to, battle one another and try to get on top and try to win, and you're in all that type of jazz. Satan actually makes an appearance at the end of this book as well. And Adam brings up a good point in this book. He actually says that he actually questions heaven and hell's motives, saying, "Oh well, you're only doing this to see whose gang is better," and that's really sums up really well. This book is really fun. It's really quirky. A lot of the time it doesn't make sense. You can tell that it has loads of Terry Pratchett satire where he observes and makes fun of human activities and our civilization and our habits as a species. And it does have loads of quirky characters and quirky explanations and loads of side plots as well. But it's a really fun and enjoyable book, and it's one I absolutely love. I really love this book. So when it comes to what I liked about this book, I could be easy and say I like the characters, but what I really enjoyed is the humour of this book. I was constantly smiling throughout the majority of actually listening to this novel. It cheered me up with its humour. Yes, the characters are amazing. Crowley, Aziraphale, Adam, Shadwell, Anathema, Newt, amongst other ones. They were all fantastic. Even the portrayal of Heaven and Hell, which isn't a massive part of the book, but they are mentioned. It is so good, but the humour in this book is where it absolutely shines for me. So when it comes to what I disliked about this book, not a lot. I didn't. Most of this book I enjoyed immensely. There wasn't much in this book that I didn't enjoy. So when I was thinking about what I could say for this section, I thought of a character that I didn't really enjoy that much. She was fine, but I didn't really appreciate her character as much as I did the others. And this character is Madame Tracy, who is the neighbour of Shadwell. Madame Tracy is a medium. She can, in the book, she has seances where she talks to dead people, and she also takes after Shadwell and gives him meals and makes sure that he is okay. As I said, she is alright as a character, but I thought that she was alright, but she wasn't as fleshed out as some of the other characters were. So in conclusion, I just want to read something that I wrote on my Goodreads account for this novel last year. And this is what I said. This novel is pure and simply perfection, in every possible sense. It is written in such a way that is immensely a joy to read, funny, and has a unique perspective on life and the concept of good and evil. This book is so much fun and enjoyable to read, guys. It really is. If you haven't read anything by these two authors, or if you've read a few novels by either author, then you will absolutely love this book. It really is such a great novel. You don't even have to have actually read anything by either author to actually understand or appreciate this novel. It's not going to be for everyone, I do know that, but everyone should at least read or listen to this book at least once. So when it comes to what I'm going to rate Good Omens, that is so easy for me to do. This is my second favourite book that I've read since I've started reading, since 2017. My favourite, if you have been watching my videos, you should know what my favourite novel is. That is The Stand by Stephen King. But Good Omens is my second favourite novel that I have read. And for that reason, I am going to give it full marks, 5 out of 5 for Good Omens. So that's it, guys. That is my review on Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, comment down below, let me know if you've read this, if you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it. Let me know if it would be something that you would be interested in picking up. And if you have any questions or anything like that about the book, we can always have a discussion about it down in the comments. If you have enjoyed this video as a whole, please consider subscribing to my channel, as it helps out so much. If you do subscribe, please click on the little bell notification just so it reminds you about whenever I upload videos, which are usually every Monday and Friday. And yes, I do know that I am uploading this video that's not on one of them days, but I wanted to get this video out by the end of the month. And I will also have a link down below to my Goodreads account in case you want to follow me on Goodreads. And with all that said, have a great day, read some awesome books, and I will see you all in my next video.